And on today's Unbiased Hard Take, we got an all basketball podcast for you guys today. You're going to love it. Me and JB are going to talk about the Magic being defeated by the Cavaliers in Game 7, Cavaliers moving on. And then me and JB are going to predict all of round 2, being, of course, Oklahoma City and Dallas. And then you got Denver and Minnesota. They've already played one game. And then you have Boston, Cleveland, and New York and Indiana. But me and JB got all basketball, and we'll talk a little bit of Victor Wembanyama. He was named a few minutes ago the Rookie of the Year. So, JB.
And it's not the news you want to hear, but it is the truth.
JB, cut to the intro.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. This is JB.
And I'm Chandler, and this is the Unbiased Hard Take. And on today's Unbiased Hard Take, me and JB, like we just said in the prelude, I don't know if that's actually what you're supposed to call it. JB, do you know?
Nope. It's just there.
That's right. Screw it. That's what I'm going to call it. JB, like we told the people a minute ago, we got all basketball for them today. JB, the Cleveland Cavaliers recently defeated the Orlando Magic 106-94, separating themselves in that fourth quarter. JB, what's your thoughts on the Cavaliers advancing past round 1 for the first time in a long time? Just before, long time, they haven't won a series without LeBron James in the playoffs, JB. What's your thoughts on it, my friend?
Well, it was a great series, especially by the Magic. For like years and years and years, Magic really has not been good. Now they have a structure of a team that could actually win games and actually compete, and we actually seen that. But it's sad that they fell short in the fourth quarter. But all props to the Cleveland Cavaliers and Donovan Mitchell. He balled out that game. I'm looking over the stats over here. Donovan Mitchell, he went 11 for 27, 2 for 8 at 3, and with 39 points. So, I mean, with that being said, he played his heart out that game. And so with everyone else, with our ex-Miami Heat player, Max Strus, I said it before, I really didn't want to get rid of him, but he left, got bigger money. He's doing pretty good with the Cavaliers. 13 points. Evan Mobley, he had 11 points. Darius Garland, the other duo for Donovan Mitchell, he had 12 points. He really didn't do too hot. He went 3 for 13, 1 for 4.
He made some plays late that didn't really show up on the stat sheet, but he made some clutch plays late, Garland did, that really helped the team.
And he also added with the 3 steals. He had the most steals on the team. Everyone else had 1.
Yes.
With 4 assists and 3 rebounds. And then Caris LeVert, he had 15 points coming off the bench. So that's what the stats on that for the Cavaliers. For the Cavaliers. The rookie Pablo. Let's see, is he a rookie or is he a sophomore?
Sophomore.
Sophomore.
He won Rookie of the Year, my friend. Yeah.
That's right. That is right. I forgot we had Rookie of the Year today. It's just announced. Anyways, Pablo, sophomore, did really good his sophomore year in the playoffs, especially in the playoffs. He had 38 points, 16 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 block. He went 10 for 28 and 3 for 6. I think there's quite a few players that probably should have got out there and actually tried to perform a lot better. Like Jalen Suggs did not perform well. That's probably where the nail in the coffin were the Orlando Magic. God, it's one of those days already. that he did not show his full potential. He went 2 for 13, 2 for 10. Had grabbed 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and only 10 points. And the rest of the team, I want to say, really performed all that well. Markel Fultz really didn't play as much. I mean, he did get 8 points for his 13 minutes of play. Jonathan Isaac should have done something a lot better, in my opinion, because he is a pretty tall guy. So, and that's really not the Cleveland Cavaliers have ever since Jared Allen was out in injury. So they really don't have the tall person, so they could at least use him, but he did not go out for his full potential for his 18 minutes that he played. But other than that, that's my take. Is this Orlando Magic team? They just need to be more consistent, in my opinion. Oh, I forgot about Franz Wagner.
I was wondering if you were going to bring him up or if I was going to, because if you didn't, I was going to, because Jesus, mother of Mary.
Yeah. Franz Wagner, come on. What were you doing? Like,
1 for 15.
yeah.
One.
Oh,
Uno.
0 for 5. 0 for 5 at 3. At least you did not miss a free throw. Good job.
Good to see JB always optimistic.
But yeah, with 1 steal, 1 block, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds with only 6 points. Wow. Franz
You got 3
Wagner.
6. You got 3 6s in there and 1 for 15. That's who. And you know,
I don't know if this was one of those games or what, but it's like, wow, dude.
you know, everything you just said leads up to my point. It does. Paolo Banchero is a future star. He has the Orlando Magic on the map, relevant for the first time truly since Dwight Howard.
Mm-hmm.
He was a defensive masterpiece in the NBA. Dwight Howard was a superstar. So, but similar to Dwight Howard, his supporting cast is skeptical at best. He needs a second star. I mean, Franz Wagner was great at points to the regular season, but he cannot be the second best player. Like you said, Suggs didn't really have a great performance. None of them really did. It was pretty much Paolo Banchero versus everyone else.
Well, technically, or not really. I mean, for this series, the last 5 games when they played, with the against Cleveland. Let's see, on
You're right, yeah.
April 25th, I mean, he had 16 points. April 27th, he had 34 points. In the April 30th game, he had 14. In May 3rd, he had 26 points. So, I mean, he can get there. He's just inconsistent.
Banchero?
No. Franz Wagner.
Okay, okay. I'm like, okay, I'm following you now.
Yeah,
Well, that's the
he's
problem
showing
with-
potential. He's showing potential,
Yes.
but he's showing the lack of consistency, in my opinion. Especially going 1 for 15 in a crucial game. Like,
but he's not a second star.
no.
This Magic team just reminds me of the LeBron Cavs teams. The first time LeBron was in Cleveland in his younger years, before Miami, before all that.
Mm-hmm.
Those Cavs teams just weren't very good. I'm not comparing Banchero to LeBron, obviously, but the team is just set up similar. 1 star and a bunch of just eh. You need somebody else to be a Robin to Batman in the NBA. You can't win championships off of 1 star in today's NBA. It's too difficult. And Wagner's just not good enough to be that second player. He can be a good piece on a championship team. He can't be your second best player. And that showed in Game 7. Banchero's outstanding, but I put on our Facebook page. But I had Cleveland in this game because of the experience. I am higher on Cleveland than most people are. I have a brash take later on that I won't spoil, but I think the Cavaliers pose a threat to the Celtics. I truly do. Donovan Mitchell, like you said, JB, 39 points. He took over that second half. That
Hmm.
experience of that Cavaliers team versus the inexperience of Orlando showed in Game 7. And of course, with the game being in Cleveland, you see the result. Magic they got a good future, but the
They do.
Cavaliers, this is their first playoff series victory without LeBron James since 1993, JB. So finally, some Cavaliers success not related to LeBron.
Congratulations.
Hey, your whole legacy can't be on one player. You got to do better than that. So good to see for the Cavs. Magic got a good future. So with that, JB, me and you are going to move over to the world of the rookies a little bit. This wasn't planned for the podcast, but a little bit ago, before we started, Victor Wembanyama was named the NBA's Rookie of the Year. Finalists were the Charlotte Hornets' Brandon Miller and Oklahoma City's second-year player Chet Holmgren, who was also a rookie somehow. So, JB, what's your thoughts on Wemby becoming the Rookie of the Year?
I mean, are we surprised? No. We even
No.
predicted it. I mean, am I set on Victor Wembanyama? No. Is he a good player? Yes. Was there a lot of rookies in this draft class can put up points like Victor Wembanyama? No. I mean, the dude's
Is
over 7 foot tall. I mean, he could just go a 90-degree angle and just boop, right in there. I mean, it's really not that hard for him. But for talent wise, I don't think he's not that talent, in my opinion. Just because he's 7 foot tall. Yes, that is a huge advantage. Like an outstanding advantage against a lot of players in the league. It's like looking at how many people that's over 7 foot in the NBA right now. There's Bubble, Victor Wembanyama,
um n-
Chet Holmgren.
right.
That's the only three that actually really come to my mind. I don't know who else is also 7 foot in the NBA.
He's definitely. I mean, there's others, of course, but I mean,
Yeah.
he's definitely one of the taller guys in the league. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, does he have handles? Yeah, kind of. I mean, it looks to me it looks sloppy right now. Right now it looks sloppy. But he's a rookie and he's 7 foot tall. It looks like Slender Man just walking down the court. Um, but I mean, congrats to Wembenyama. I mean, he didn't take a team that was horrible last year. I feel like it made him horrible even more this year, in my opinion. Because I mean, honestly, have you ever seen San Antonio Spurs and Victor Wembanyama on headlines this year?
no, because they're one of the worst teams in the league.
Yep. So you never hardly ever see him or have hardly anybody talking about the Spurs and Victor Wembanyama. Maybe just a few stat lines here and there about Victor Wembanyama and their loss, and that's it. That's literally much it. So until he will get my respect, until he can prove himself to get or change a horrible team into a somewhat mediocre team into a all-star team. Because I don't know how many people in the NBA wants to go, I want to go to the San Antonio Spurs. I want to play with Victor Wembanyama. I mean, who wants that? Really? I mean, players are seeing it's like, ugh, worst team in the league. Do I really want to play for them? And they just have a rookie right now as a sophomore. But really,
And a head coach who's probably not going to be coaching much longer.
exactly. So you're gonna go some players are gonna come in with a brand new coach, basically brand new everything, and we don't even know what this coach is gonna be like. Like, I mean, just right now, the Spurs and Victor Wembanyama are just going downhill. Great player, but until he can prove himself that he's that player, I mean, there's not really much to go for, in my opinion.
I mean, stats have to translate to wins at some point. That was the argument you made last time with Chet Holmgren. That you kind of made an argument for him a little bit. You predicted Wemby, but you kind of made the argument that Holmgren could have because of the team's success, and that's a legit argument. That's a legit argument. But truly, I mean,
I mean, look at the
I
Six
think
right
it's the
now.
right pick.
Just look at it right now. The Thunder are number one seed in the Western Conference.
But how much of that is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander? Shea Gilgeous-Alexander played for the Spurs, JB. Spurs probably be the number one seed in the conference.
I mean,
It's what if? I mean, the record says for itself. So I mean, I hear you. I hear you. But I'm not totally upset because I don't think Chet Holmgren's a rookie anyway. But Victor Wembanyama, 21.4 points a game, 10.6
neither was Ben
rebounds,
Simmons.
3.6. That's fair. Or Blake Griffin, 3.6 blocks a game for Wemby as well. He's a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. So almost 4 blocks a game for Wemby. I mean, I think he's definitely deserving of it. However, I do think that at some point, with that stat line, you need to start winning. At least be better than a bottom lottery team. I mean,
Yep.
Jesus, Mother of God. He's only a rookie. So I'm gonna cut him break. He's an outstanding talent, outstanding player. So I just need to see it translate to wins. I mean, that's pretty much it. Wemby's a great talent. Brandon Miller's a great talent as well. I'll talk about him a little bit too. I was higher on him last year's NBA draft than most people. I actually made an argument that he could have been the number one pick, and he went out there and had a good season himself. So not as absurd a take as I think initially people thought.
Exactly.
With that, me and JB now are moving on to round 2 of the playoffs, my friends. Round 1 is in the books.
Conference semifinals.
And we're getting down to the nitty gritty, my friend. Nitty gritty. And then we're done until, well, the podcast isn't, but watching sports will be done until the preseason. Oh God. Oh, JB. But until then, conference semifinals. JB, who do you got in the Western Conference Finals semifinals? Western Conference semifinals. Jesus. The Oklahoma City Thunder or the Dallas Mavericks? OKC has home court advantage.
A little tongue twister. I think
Had a few of those tonight, I feel like.
I think it's going to be a 7-game series. Yes, sirree. Just the way that the Mavericks are playing right now and the Thunder that's playing right now, it's going to be one of those games. I mean, through the 23 and 24 season, I mean, they played quite a bit during the year, but so far it looks like it's been, let's see, 4 times that OKC won. So
the season series, is that what you're talking about?
For the season series, I mean, OKC has won majority of them, But
Or I have the stat here. OKC has a season series advantage of 4-1.
yep, I was about to
OKC
say
has the
4-1. So I mean, but the way that the Mavericks are playing right now, again, series prior, um, the Mavericks and the Clippers. I mean, yes, the Clippers was up and down.
The
Um,
Clippers, JB, are the Clippers. They will
e-
continue doing Clipper things.
yep, exactly. So, I mean, with that being said, I mean, you have all those all stars on that team, and yet Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving are took them out, and now they're facing, I mean, a little bit more of a difficult team, but I still feel it's probably going to go at least 6, but I'm hoping for game 7 for the most of the stats that they all pull out, because the series average for the Thunder is 105.3 points, and the Mavericks is 107. So it is a really close game, or really close points for each team. And for the series leaders, for Alexander is 27.3 and Luka is 29. And is almost averaging a triple double with 9.5 assists and 8.8 rebounds. So that's probably going to be a whole. It's going to be a shootout with both of these teams, in my opinion.
You know, I'm going to start out by really congratulating the Mavericks because I've been skeptical of the Mavericks. They missed the play-in totally with Kyrie and Luka last year, which is unacceptable. I've been highly critical of Luka Doncic and his ability to win in the playoffs. In the Clippers series after they had lost the game said that Luka said, I'm paraphrasing here, that he felt like he was letting Kyrie Irving down with his performance. And JB, he went out there in that game 6 with a chance to truly put a nail in the coffin, and he was able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He went out there, JB, and had 28 points, 13 assists, like you said, 7 rebounds. He was outstanding. And excuse me, Kyrie Irving was outstanding as well. The Dallas Mavericks are playing outstanding basketball right now, and this is going to be a real series. It's going to be a
Yep.
real series. However, that OKC team, man, you got Chet Holmgren, who's probably runner-up for Rookie of the Year, 16.5 points, shot 53% from the field this year, JB, 7.9 rebounds a game. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was your MVP vote when we did our unbiased hard take MVP rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was Nikola Jokic, so he's possibly the league MVP this year. He's debatable. That OKC team is real. They have Josh Giddey. They have a bunch of other nice role players. They have a really good young team. I'm not normally super big for with young teams, but this OKC team is good, JB. Like you said earlier, they have a 4-1 season advantage regular season. That matters. OKC has home court as well. So with OKC winning 4 of the 5 games against Dallas, I think I'm going to take Oklahoma City in 6. Luka's really improved his defense and his playoff performance, but how much stock do I want to put in that Clippers series against a dysfunctional Clippers team with a injured Kawhi Leonard again? Again, injured again in the playoffs, Kawhi Leonard. Imagine that. Had a reasonably healthy regular season and missed the playoffs. Traditional. How much stock, and it still took him 6 games, Dallas, 6 games to get it done without Kawhi. Some red flags is all I'm saying. So give me OKC, the number 1 seed. had a better record than Dallas did in the regular season anyway. But give me OKC in 6. I think Dallas is good enough to get a couple games. Luka's really proved me wrong. He's shown some playoff success finally.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I think it's going to either go to game 6 or game 7, in my opinion. So, like we said, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, those two can put up 80 points together. I mean, in my opinion, I mean everyone else can just play defense and have them to just shoot the ball out, and is it will work, in my opinion. They can honest. I mean, I'm being skeptical, but I believe they can put up 100 points each, or 100
Oh, yeah.
points total. People shoot
Each
have
team 100.
no. Kyrie and Luka both shoot 50 points.
Oh, I think it's absolutely possible. I mean, they have some other decent players like Washington and whatnot, but the scoring, yeah, you're mainly right. Is Luka and Kyrie? My main concern is JB. Luka's 16 and 18 in the playoffs. Yeah, Kyrie's proven to win a championship, but can Kyrie do it as the number one? I don't think so. And Luka's 16 and 18 in the playoffs. I'm just a little skeptical. Is all I'm saying.
Well, and think about also Luka in the playoffs. He really did not have a team. He was the team back then, prior, and now he actually has someone that he could actually take a load off of him and put some on him, and he'll do the work. So, I mean,
But they also missed the whole play in last year in general with Kyrie and Luka.
that that
I don't know.
that whole thing was really confusing to me. I mean, I don't think they didn't want to do it that year because I don't think they weren't ready or what. I don't know. But
I see the red flags. I think they're good enough to get a couple games, but OKC's the number 1 seed, man. Dallas is the 5 seed. OKC's 4-1 in the season series. It just everything screams OKC here.
yeah, and I agree. So,
That's like me and JB are taking OKC. JB in 7. Is that what I'm hearing?
yep.
I'm gonna take him in 6. So now we're getting to the nitty gritty, JB. With that, we're gonna stay in the Western Conference. This series is already a Timberwolves 1-0 lead. But JB, who do you have? It's a marathon, not a sprint. Who do you have in the overall series, JB? Denver or Minnesota?
I'm thinking it's going to be the Timberwolves taking this series. Yes, sir. All because of one man.
Michael Jordan's son.
Anthony Edwards. Averaging 43 points. 43. And Nikola Jokic is averaging 32. He's not averaging a double-double right now. 8 rebounds and 9 assists. I mean, well, neither is Anthony Edwards, but I mean, he's averaging 7 rebounds and 3 assists. But I mean, Anthony Edwards. I mean, going to game 1, I mean, looking at the box score here. Anthony Edwards, 43 points, 17 for 29, 3 for 7, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, and only 1 turnover. And then his dynamic duo over here, Karl Anthony Towns, he went 8 for 13, 2 for 4 at 3, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, no blocks or steals, and with only 20 points. And Rudy Gobert really didn't do too much on the points wise, but the rebounds. He had 13 rebounds. And I'm telling you. And then with everyone else, Mike Conley with 14 points and Naz Reid with 16 points. But I mean, Other than Jaden McDaniels throwing all donuts and bricks in that game, he's building himself a nice little brick house, nice little cozy, trying to coast his way into the conference finals, in my opinion. But with all that, I do believe that this Timberwolves team is the Denver Nuggets killer. Because honestly,
How many games?
I'm gonna go 5.
Oh, JB,
I'm
JB
going
going in
5.
5.
I'm going 5. Like I'm saying, this Timberwolves team is the Denver Nuggets killer. Like, who can stop
JB.
Karl Anthony Towns? Which, oh, by the way, 7 foot. Forgot about Karl Anthony Towns with being 7 foot. And Rudy Gobert is also 7 foot tall. So, and Nikola Jovic is only 6'11", so he's almost 7 foot. Almost 7 foot. Probably with shoes is probably 7 foot. So, but
JB
but
going
honestly,
with a
no one on the Denver Nuggets can stop Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert all in the same time. No one. Not even Nikola Jovic, Jamal Murray, which he was an absolute dud in game 1. I mean, the only person that actually showed up is Michael Porter Jr. and Jokic. I mean, Jamal Murray, he had a whopping 6 for 14, 2 for 4, and only 17 points, only 4 assists and 1 rebound. I mean, they literally destroyed them in the rebound game. And to me, if you win the rebound game, if you win the rebound war in the game, you win the game, in my opinion. They only had 3 offensive rebounds, and the Timberwolves only had 7. So, I mean, there's
man. JB going with a gentleman's sweep. 5 games. Wow. Okay. You know, you make a lot of valid points, JB. You do. I mean, Minnesota, Anthony Edwards, he's probably the next face of the league. I think Jokic is still the best player in the league, but I don't think he wants to be the face of the league. You have to want to be. And you're right. I mean, they have Mike Conley, who's a good passing facilitator. Gobert, like you said, double-digit boards.
oh yeah,
They have Anthony
Mike
Edwards
Conley
and
with 10 assists in game 1. So
bingo. They have everything they need. They have a point guard who can facilitate, a superstar in Anthony Edwards, a co-star in Karl
that can
Anthony
do it all.
Towns, and a awesome rebounding defensive of the year candidate, probably going to win it this year, in our opinion, and has previously. And they have the 6th man of the year in Naz Reid. Everything you said makes sense. No, I'm not. On our Facebook page, link will be in the description down below. Check it out. Go like, subscribe here too. Anyway, on our Facebook page, before this series began, I got on Facebook and said that I think Minnesota has a real chance here. But I'm taking Denver in 7. I don't know if you've seen that on our Facebook. I took Denver in 7 before the series, and I'm gonna stick to it. I think
7?
eventually, I think 7 games. I think this is going to be a 7-game series. This is the defending champions, JB. The Denver Nuggets are the defending champions. Jokic, I mean, 32 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists in his own right. Porter had 20 points. Murray had 17. This game was a close game. I watched the entire game. This game was close until the end. It ended up being a 7-point game. Minnesota ended up stretching it out later and making crucial plays when it mattered most. This is a close game. This is going to be a fun series. I think this is going to be a 7-game series. Every game will be close. I truly believe that every one of these games will be within 10 points.
That's why I'm
It's
saying
going to be an
5.
awesome series. I just think
All the games are going to be close, but Minnesota is going to get the job done. It's going to be a battle every game. It's going to probably be like this, probably 5 points, 7 points, 3 points, 1 point game. I mean, but the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to get it done in 5.
you see, I won't be surprised if the Timberwolves win in like a 6 or 7 game series. But if it's anything other than that, I will be truly surprised. I think the defending champs ain't gonna go away that easy. They've been outstanding all year. I just think Denver's got way too much fight. I think this is going to be a heavyweight battle. This is going to be a good playoff series. And this is awesome. Do you know why this is awesome, JB? Parity in the NBA. Parity. Small market teams are finally succeeding. Let's look at who's left, JB. I have it right here. Oklahoma City, small market. Okay, Dallas, Texas, that's a big market. Denver, very small market. The Minnesota Timberwolves, small market. Indiana Pacers, super small market. New York Knicks, big market. There's only 2 big market teams left, JB. The rest of these teams are small markets.
Do you really want to call the Celtics a small market team?
Oh, okay. Also, okay, Cleveland. You have Cleveland. I'm sorry, I forgot that series. You have Cleveland. They're small market. Cleveland, Ohio. Take LeBron away, they're a joke.
Mm-hmm.
They're small market. LeBron made them big. And then Boston, they're a big market. So there's only 3 teams that are. There's more small market teams this year, JB, than there are big markets.
Yep, and I agree. But
I think it's good to see.
And me too. I mean, there's not really much of a I want to say like threats in this year's playoffs. I mean, there's no LeBron James, Anthony Davis, no Miami Heat, even though everyone thinks that they're like a joke to some.
Only people with low basketball IQ think that.
And it's like, who else really? There's no Golden State Warriors. Like, there's really
Lakers are out.
like this is the first. I feel like it's been a long time since a high caliber teams are in the conference semifinals. Like, there's no Suns. They got swept. Lakers got the
Suns are more of a small market, but they have KD.
I mean, the Suns are just stupid. Honestly.
I mean, that too, but
I mean, I'm just saying 5 games Timberwolves. If you win the rebound game, you won the game. And Timberwolves know how to do that. So,
you want to put anything on that?
nope.
This Minnesota Denver series?
Nope. Because I remember the last time I did that, I lost.
That was the DoorDash competition.
So
don't worry.
Every time, hold on. Every time I bet on a team, we lose. So, I'm not betting. I'm just saying Timberwolves are in 5.
JB will have a chance to redeem himself next NFL DoorDash season.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm just holding all my luck in now to the NFL.
We'll see about that, my friend. With that, JB, me and you are going to move over to the Eastern Conference. JB, who do you have in the Eastern Conference semifinals? The Boston Celtics or the Cleveland Cavaliers? Boston has home court advantage.
I'm probably going to pick the Boston Celtics in 6. I think this Cavaliers team can actually do some damage against a the Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown type of team. Um, but yeah, they know how to get it done. Right now, they're on a Boston on a 3-2 regular season. Am I doing if I'm doing that correctly? Yeah, 3-2. Um, regular season series. I mean those games were actually down to the wire, in my opinion. I mean, especially the last game that they played against, they won by 1. So, or the Cavaliers won by 1. And that was Mr. Dean Wade showing up on that game. So, but yeah, but either I am picking the Boston in 6.
You were close. The Cavaliers have a 1-2 record versus the Celtics this season. Not 1-3. It was 3 total games. 1-2 record.
Oh, that's good. Well,
And
oh yeah, you're right. I went back a little too far.
well, you looked at the 3 total games. But yes, either way, Celtics do have the season a series advantage. Same result.
Yep.
You know, I said to people that this is my big prediction. I don't think Cleveland wins the series, but I think this goes to Game 7.
Ooh. Game 6
Yes,
and
I
game
know
7.
people want to say that. I think a lot of people think Boston's going to go in there and tear them up because Boston only took them 5 games to beat Miami, and Cleveland just ended a brutal 7-game series with Orlando. That Orlando series was outstanding. Orlando actually had more threes made, 12 more threes made, more free throws, and 2 fewer turnovers in that series. Somehow Cleveland won. It's that experience I told you about.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan Mitchell. Obviously, the Celtics have more experience in winning because they've been to the finals. Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland has not. So I think ultimately because of that, Cleveland loses this series in 7. But Donovan Mitchell is no joke, JB. This is Cleveland's first playoff series win without LeBron James since 1993.
Mm-hmm.
Garland, yeah, he kind of had a bad stat sheet, like you said earlier, but 3 steals, JB. And those 3 steals were crucial steals. He made plays late in the game. This Cleveland team is real. I said it months ago on a podcast. I did my research and double checked it. The regular season, I said Cleveland is a sleeper team, and I think can take Boston down to the wire. I said that. And I truly mean it. Ultimately, though, I think Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown will be enough to get it done. Donovan Mitchell doesn't have. I mean, Garland's his second co-mate, but who are you taking? Mitchell and Garland or Brown and Tatum, who have been to the finals before? Now, granted, Kristaps Porzingis is still out, and that's another reason I think this goes to 7. It'd be Boston in 7, JB.
And I mean, would I be surprised that it would go to Game 7? No. I think Cleveland is going to give Boston the run for their money, though. I mean, it's going to be one of those games that it's going to be strictly straight down to the wire. But it's probably either Game 6 or Game 7, in my opinion.
This is championship or bust season for the Celtics. They had the best record in the East, the best record in the NBA all season long. They truly choked last year against the Miami Heat. They should have won that series, a lot of people think. I think the better team won, in my opinion, but a lot of people don't think that for some reason. And also, JB, got to consider this. Boston, it still took them 5 games to beat a injury-ridden Miami team. Miami still got a game on them and won it by double digits. All I'm saying, there are some red flags to the Celtics teams. They have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have a history of coming up short in the past. And they didn't sweep Miami, and people said that was a guarantee. All I'm saying. I am taking Boston here. Not hating. They are the better team. Cleveland is underrated.
Mhm. They are.
This is
They're
champion.
they're
This is
they're
championship. Yeah.
they're a very sleepy team. I mean, don't sleep on the Cleveland Cavaliers this year or next year. There's going to be, I mean, there's some changes going to be happening in that on that roster, but
So long as they can keep Donovan Mitchell, yeah. I mean,
yep.
they're
So
gonna
long
be
as they
good.
if they can keep Donovan Mitchell and Garland on the same on keep them both happy on the money wise, that's going to be one heck of a team next year.
I agree with that, JB. One more series, my friend. Who do you have? This is the home state series. Who do you got, JB? The New York Knicks versus the Indiana Pacers. This is an old school rivalry that's kind of being renewed. I like to see it. NBA historians know what I'm talking about. You got, JB. New York has home court.
Ooh. I'm picking the Knicks in 5. Yep. Knicks in 5. I think they're not gonna stop Jalen Brunson. They're not.
I'm gonna get. I'm gonna give you the floor here because next thing I say is gonna be yeah. Okay. This the floor is yours, my friend.
I mean, with Jalen Brunson, when I say consistent, he's consistent. 30, 40 points a game, consistent. I mean, why do you think the New York Knicks is the second seed and the Pacers is the 6th seed? Why do you think is that? I don't know. And yes, you have Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam, and the bench is somewhat okay with probably with Obi Toppin and TJ McConnell for the Pacers. But with Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart and OG, I could say his name, but there are times that my tongue does not want to work. Anunoby. There, it's close enough. Like I said, this my tongue. But with but yeah, with everything, I'm probably even with um Julius Randle and Bojan Bojanovic is inactive for the Knicks. I still believe, hands down, that they're going to win in 5. Because we all seen that Pascal Siakam, he's an iffy player, in my opinion. I mean, yes, he can give you a double double here and there, but he's not what he was before when he won the championship in Toronto. He's not. He's not how he was before. Miles Turner is also the same way. He's an iffy player. He can give you 20 points here and there, probably with a double double, but he's inconsistent. Probably the only person that's consistent on this team right now is Tyrese Halliburton. And I mean, if you have too many inconsistent players and only one player that's actually wanting to win, it's not going to work, in my opinion. But I don't think there's no way you're not going to stop Jalen Brunson. I mean, he's a scoring machine, and he's proven that already. So, That's my take, and I am
Pacers.
sticking to it.
I've been awfully quiet, JB. You know why?
Why?
Pacers in 6.
Ooh. Okay. Now,
I'm taking
the
the
floor is yours.
I'm taking the Pacers in 6. I think yes, the Pacers did get the benefit of beating the Bucks without Giannis, and Dame was injured in and out of the lineup a little bit. But I have some stats here, JB. The Indiana Pacers are second in the NBA at, I say this, fastest pace this season. Actually, the Washington Wizards were number 1, which is weird. But they were at 102.65 pace. Yeah, that's weird. The Pacers at 101.75. The Knicks defense struggled against fast teams. The Knicks are a physical team. I wonder about the Knicks' ability to keep up with Indiana's speed. They are a lightning fast team, JB, second fastest in the league. I worry about New York's ability to keep up with them. And yes, New York has Jalen Brunson, but who's their second best player?
Julius Randle.
Don't. He's injured.
But
Out
you
for the
didn't
season,
say
remember?
who's injured. You just say who's active. You should have said who's active.
Right, active player. They look at Indiana, JB. Like you said, they have Tyrese Halliburton. They have Pascal Siakam. They have Miles Turner. They have a legitimate team, and they have a solid bench as well. Like you said, Obi Toppin. The Pacers have I think better team top to bottom, and a co-star for their star in Tyrese Halliburton. New York doesn't have that. I think New York has had a great run. I think they've had a great season. Jalen Brunson is that dude. I just don't think he can take this team all the way to the championship. I think Indiana's too balanced. I think ultimately they'll have too much in a 7-game series. I think it's going to be a decent series. You'll get a game or two, I think. But give me Indiana. Give me Indiana in 6, JB. The fastest team in the league. And I think they have a deeper roster. Because truly, right now, who is the Knicks' second best player? I mean, that game's going right now. It's actually a tie game at 27 apiece as of 8:12 p.m. right now, our time here. And they have Naismith too. McConnell has been a good player for them. Indiana's deep. Indiana is deep.
And I agree.
What
I think
Josh Hart's a good player.
I was probably going to say Josh Hart is probably physically the second best, but I mean if we're going with points per game, I mean it's
And
either
Hartenstein.
probably Dante or OG in my opinion. Because OG has 14 points per game and Dante has 15 points a game. And Josh Hart now, he's at 9.4 points per game.
Right. I mean,
So, right now, the game right now, he has 9 points right now, and it's starting at the second quarter. So
that's my point. He actually has 10 now, and that's my point, JB. Because the other players, Hartenstein right now has 4, Josh Hart has 9. But beyond Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, I just worry about the Knicks' depth and their ability to get it done in crunch time in a drooling series. As the time goes on, they need to rely a little less on Jalen Brunson, I think, in my opinion.
and I agree. And I agree. But I mean, they're number 2 ranked it for a reason. I mean, they have one heck of a coach, in my opinion.
Yes.
I mean,
they do.
they can get it done, in my opinion. I mean, is he better than the Pacers coach? Yes.
I don't know, Rick Carlisle has a championship, JB, with that Mavericks team that beat our Heat. I mean, he's champion coach. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
Rick
well,
Carlisle's a good coach, my friend.
that was years ago.
That's fair. That's fair. But
I mean, just look at the Bucks coach. I mean, he has a championship ring.
this is off topic here because JB,
That was years ago
remember
too.
remember when they fired Adrian Griffith and they hired Doc Rivers, and I said Super F?
Yeah.
Super F. Doc Rivers should never coach in the NBA again. That's a hard take. You want to hear that? Doc Rivers should never. He'll go in the Hall of Fame. I'll give him that, but his days are over. He should never coach in the NBA again. It's disgraceful. The amount of chances he's had, and he coached the All-Star game this past season. Pitiful.
Yep. I'm just saying, he has a championship. That was years ago.
He does.
So is, but yeah, I do believe that all the facts that you're saying is true. But I do believe that the Knicks can actually pull it off and actually try to slow down the Pacers. Because it's been done before. They can slow them down. The Pacers can be slowed down. It's just how many times can you do it? And I do believe that this New York Knicks team is disciplined enough to do it multiple games at a time. So, I mean, yes, they don't have Julius Randle. Jesus, like I said, my tongue's not working today. And Bojan Bojanovic. But with those two players out, I still believe that this team can still compete and still have their, I want to say their key players or their role players and have their key player ball out. Like I said, if you get all your key players to at least a double digit points for each player and have your all or your key player to get 30, 40 points like Brunson has been doing, I think they have a total shot.
I mean, and Halliburton's had some duds. Had a couple of dud games against the Bucks. But Pascal Siakam, JB, he's a champion himself. He's been an All-Star.
Years ago.
Halliburton's an All-Star this. That's fair. Halliburton.
To me, I think he's washed. He's not the player that he was back in the day. I think his prime is done and over with. I think the injuries that he's had prior to coming into this season hurt him quite a bit. He's not the same player that he was in his championship prime era when he was putting up 30, 35 points in the playoffs. Pascal.
JB, he's averaging 21.3 points a game, 7.8 rebounds for the Pacers this year. Oh, JB. Oh, we disagree a lot today.
I mean, do we want to go through the whole some of the game series? I mean, yes, he did average 22 points against the Bucks. But but yes, they can't just rely on Pascal Siakam because he's 30 years old. I mean, you can't rely on him every single time. Like either game 1 against the Bucks. I mean, yes, he did score 36 points against the Bucks. But I mean, other than that, really, I mean, to me, it's. And in game 2, he had 37. Game 3, he had 17. I mean, yes, he'll give you He'll give you some points. Don't get me wrong. He can still do it. but like he's getting old. 13 points in game 4.
And he is getting a little older. His best year was in Toronto, obviously. I 100% believe that too, but he's got Halliburton, he has Miles Turner, JB. They have a legitimate team there in Indiana. They really do. He's not the number one guy. He's the number two guy. That's Halliburton's team, and Miles Turner's that third All Star, our third player. I don't know if you want
Yeah.
to call Miles Turner an All Star. I wouldn't, but Turner's a good player.
But yeah, I mean, I've looked at through all the games. I went through all the games. Won the game 6. He had 2 really good games. Game 1 and game 2. Other than that, those points that he's at had like 37, 35 in the first 2 games. The rest of them duds. Absolutely duds. He's not there. I mean, yes, he's there. He has like 17, 15, 19 points in some of the games. But like he's not the same player that he was back then. Yes, he can give you 30 points here and there. If he can, I want to say if he doesn't balance it out, like have one game he averaged 25 and then 25, 20, 20, 20, then yes. I'll be fine with that. But if you go all out on 2 games, having 30 plus points in those 2 games, and then you're an absolute dud in the rest of the games, like he's just not the same player that he was in Toronto ever since those injuries that occurred to him. I mean, he's not the same anymore.
You know, I got something for you, buddy. Right now, the score is 35-32 Indiana with 6 minutes 56 seconds, and Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Halliburton have combined for 3 points. Combined, Halliburton and Pascal have 3 points combined. But so that might be you have some truth there, JB. It's been a horrible first half for them. But the Pacers are still winning, my friend. That's a deep roster, my friend. That's all I'm saying. Deep roster. McConnell 8 points right now. Jackson with 6. Hey, they got a deep team. That's what I worry about. Brunson will get his. I worry about everyone else.
Yeah, because Brunson right now he has 14 points. Isaiah has 4. Hart has 9. He looks like he hasn't even shot the ball in the second half yet, because all those 9 points were in the first half. And then
First quarter.
in the first quarter, first quarter. And OG only has 6 points, which he's finally put himself on the board, I think, in the second half. But I mean, they've started a majority of their players, and they're like I said, their bench is low key, somewhat. I want to say mid, but I mean they have some pretty key players. Ben Shepherd with 6, Isaiah Jackson with 6, TJ McConnell with 8, Obi Toppin with 3, and then their starters, Andrew, their point guard for 3, Tyrese Halliburton with 3, Miles Turner with 4, Pascal 0, and Aaron Neesmith with 4. And then right now with the New York Knicks, they only put in 3 players to rest with their starters. And right now, Dante has 0 points, Brunson with 14. Isaiah, like I said, and the only person on the bench that's only scored 1 point, is Precious Achua.
I just worry about the Knicks' depth.
That's probably my only thing that I'm worried about. But if Brunson can do what he does, and the rest of the players can actually contribute. Oh, Josh Hart has 11 points.
So, I mean, it's true. Josh Hart's he's helping out. So I mean, the Knicks, I think,
right
have
now
a chance,
he hasn't missed a shot yet. He has not missed a shot. He's 5 for 5 and 1 for 1. But yes,
you make a point. You make a
The
point.
the
Josh
the
Hart
o-
had
the only
doing
the
good.
only thing I'm worried about is that, like you said, the death of the New York Knicks. Without Julius Randle and Bojan Bogdanovic, their death is shot. But like I said, if OG and Isaiah and Dante actually contribute to the scores, to do what they normally do best, to get 12, 13, 15 points a game, all of them. Or have one person, has a dud game and then everyone else contributes and then Brunson does normally what he does best, averaging 35, 45, 55 points a game, in my opinion. So,
And and you said Bojan's name very well. I'm impressed, JB. I'm impressed.
who?
You said Bojan. Bojan Bogdanovic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said his name is better than I can. JB. Inconsistency, my friend. Hey, we're getting better. Anyways, JB, that is all that we have planned for today's Unbiased Heart Take. JB, we were all basketball today, my friend. The NFL does release a schedule on May 9th, so we'll be talking that next podcast. What do you got for the
3
people,
more
my friend?
days.
That's right.
NFL
We
season.
covered a lot. That's right. We covered a lot of basketball today, my friend. NBA playoffs. What do you got for the people?
It's a different playoffs. It is a different playoffs this year. That's what I like to see. I mean, I don't have pretty much to say. I mean, other than it's a whole different year. A lot of different teams this year. Didn't see much Timberwolves last year, or the Pacers in that matter. The Celtics are actually showing up finally. They're not choking.
Yet.
They haven't choked against the Heat. So I'm just saying that. Cavaliers are actually a notable team now. Thunder is an amazing team, and the Mavericks are actually showing up this year. Like I said, we have no high-powered teams. We have no Lakers, no Suns, no Clippers, no 76ers, no Bucks, no Heat, sadly.
No Warriors.
And no Warriors. Like, all those teams are, like, out of it. Like, we have... I feel like this is going to be a great playoffs in the NBA. I mean, that's all I have.
I agree. It's good to see some parity in an NFL world where Kansas City seems to be dominating everything. NBA is quite the opposite. You got a lot of clarity, a lot of teams. It's really competitive right now. There's a lot of teams that can win it. Any of these teams, in my opinion, on the board here could win the championship in my book. These are some very good basketball teams we have here. That's all. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, like us on Facebook. Check out the Sports Fact today. Got shirts been made, JB. We're rocking those. With bumper stickers here. I got that right here. Stuff like that. So anyone interested in anything like that, let us know. Let me or JB know. We're getting more involved on Facebook. I'm trying to give more takes on Facebook rather than just share news and giving my opinions on Facebook as well. And I'm trying to reference those in the podcasts. So our Facebook will be in the link to the description down below. Again, the dark times are crunching up, JB.
They are.
Round two of the NBA playoffs. Football season doesn't start till August, and the college season is over, as we all know. So, me and JB will be talking a lot of basketball. It's exciting times for the NBA. I'm excited to see who pulls out here because there's not one team that really stands out. All these teams have a chance, and it's competitive basketball. It's what I like to see. I got NFL schedule release we'll be talking about next week, as well as more NBA playoffs. That's all I have. As always, go Pack and go. Let's go Heat. And boiler up, baby. NBA playoffs. I'm excited. We're getting to crunch time.
Yay. It's closer to the dark times. And
Appreciate the ride, my friend. Appreciate the ride.
been an honor. But that is it for this episode of the Unbiased Hard Take. We'll see you all next week, and I'm going to end it off with let's go Heat, let's go Purdue, and let's go Steelers. Until next week, see you later.
Till next week.